Contribute to chaos. This was chaos that was started at Washington, D.C. On Thursday, the city was peaceful. On Friday, it was not.
Be arrested for doing something that he is constitutionally allowed to do.
অভিবাসন বিরোধী অভিযান ঘিরে শহর জুড়ে নতুন করে উত্তেজনা তৈরি হয়েছে। সম্প্রতি ইমিগ্রেশন অ্যান্ড কাস্টমস এনফোর্সমেন্ট বা আইস পরিচালিত ধারাবাহিক অভিযানে বেশ কিছু অভিবাসীকে আটক করা হয়েছে। এই ঘটনার প্রতিবাদে শহরের বিভিন্ন এলাকায় শুরু হয়েছে বিক্ষোভ, যা সময়ের সঙ্গে সঙ্গে আকার নিচ্ছে বৃহৎ জনসমাবেশে।
We need to stop the raids. This should not be happening in our city. It is not warranted, and the only thing it does is contribute to chaos. This was chaos that was started at Washington, D.C. On Thursday, the city was peaceful. On Friday, it was not, because of the intervention of the federal government. And it's, again, I don't think our city should be a test case, a laboratory. We didn't need the National Guard. Why on earth? What are they going to do? Do you know what the National Guard is doing now? They are guarding two buildings. They're guarding the federal building here in downtown, and they're guarding the federal building in Westwood. That's what they're doing. So they need Marines on top of it? I don't understand that. That's why I feel like we are part of an experiment that we did not ask to be a part of. Nothing warranted the raids. If you remember at the beginning of this administration, we were told that raids would be to look for violent criminals, people who had warrants, but I don't know how you go from a drug dealer to a Home Depot, to people's workplaces where they're just trying to make a living. And it makes me feel like our city is actually a test case for what happens when the federal government moves in and takes the authority away from the state or away from local government. I don't think that our city should be used for an experiment to see what happens in the nation's second largest city. Well, maybe we can do this to other cities. I can't emphasize enough the level of fear and terror that is in Angelenos right now, not knowing if tomorrow or tonight it might be where they live, it might be their workplace. Should you send your kids to school? Should you go to work? You can't possibly be supporting immigrants and vandalize our city. And understand that if you do that, and it is 100% unacceptable, you will be arrested, and it might not happen that day.
The police department is on tactical alert and in a state of partial mobilization. We're also aware of reports that the President intends or has deployed U.S. Marines to Los Angeles. The introduction of federal military personnel without direct coordination creates logistical challenges and risks confusion during critical incidents. Los Angeles Police Department, alongside our mutual aid partners, have decades of experience managing large-scale public demonstrations, and we remain confident in our ability to be able to do so professionally and effectively. To the public, we fully support your right to peacefully protest, but let me be absolutely clear. Those who choose to incite violence, engage in vandalism or graffiti, or attack officers will be arrested. There is no tolerance for criminal activity under the guise of protest. I know that the situation you're referring to with the member of the media, we saw that, we're very concerned about that, and we're looking into that.
বিক্ষোভের কেন্দ্রবিন্দু হয়ে উঠেছে ডেভিড হুয়েরাতা নামক এক পরিচিত শ্রমিক সংগঠনের নেতার গ্রেপ্তারিকে কেন্দ্র করে। তিনি সার্ভিস এমপ্লয়িজ ইন্টারন্যাশনাল ইউনিয়নের সাথে যুক্ত এবং অভিবাসন অধিকার রক্ষায় সক্রিয় ছিলেন দীর্ঘদিন। তার গ্রেপ্তার ঘিরেই ক্ষোভ ছড়িয়ে পড়ে লস অ্যাঞ্জেলেসের বিভিন্ন প্রান্তে। অবস্থার উত্তেজনা মোকাবিলায় ক্যালিফোর্নিয়া গভর্নরের অনুরোধে এবং ফেডারেলের নির্দেশে শহরের কিছু এলাকায় মোতায়েন করা হয়েছে জাতীয় গার্ড এবং সামরিক বাহিনীর সদস্যরা। তবে প্রশাসনের দাবি এই ব্যবস্থা শুধু নিরাপত্তা বজায় রাখার জন্য নয় এবং সহিংসতা ঠেকাতে এমন সিদ্ধান্ত নেওয়া হয়েছে। লস অ্যাঞ্জেলেসের মেয়র ক্যারেন ব্যাস এক সংবাদ বিবৃতিতে বলেন, আমাদের শহর যেন ইচ্ছাকৃতভাবে একটি পরীক্ষা চালানোর ক্ষেত্র হয়ে উঠেছে। এটা যেন পরীক্ষামূলক জায়গা। আমরা চাই পরিস্থিতি শান্ত হোক, কিন্তু মানুষের গণতান্ত্রিক অধিকার যেন রক্ষা পায়। তবে হোয়াইট হাউস বা ফেডারেল সরকারের পক্ষ থেকে এ বিষয়ে আনুষ্ঠানিক কোনো প্রতিক্রিয়া পাওয়া যায়নি। বর্তমানে লস অ্যাঞ্জেলেসের পরিস্থিতি নিয়ন্ত্রণে থাকলেও বিশেষজ্ঞদের মতে অভিবাসন নীতি ও মানবাধিকার প্রশ্নে দেশজুড়ে বিতর্ক আরও ঘনীভূত হতে পারে। বিক্ষোভ শান্তিপূর্ণ থাকলেও প্রশাসন সতর্ক অবস্থানে রয়েছে এবং পরিস্থিতি ঘন ঘন পর্যবেক্ষণ করা হচ্ছে।
I went to, oh my gosh, I feel like this is going to be a modern day Holocaust. That was the first thing that popped in my mind, was silence all of the leaders who are going to be able to speak out against what is wrong and what is unlawful. Even though someone is in a position of power that was voted in by society doesn't mean that they're being lawful.
I don't feel safer with the National Guard here. I texted my brother about last night. Okay, I feel less safe. So I want them out of the city. They should go back to their regular jobs and their lives. They're called up to do this.
Why was he arrested for doing something that he is constitutionally allowed to do? To be able to show up and use his free speech, to be able to talk about what is necessary. And he's an advocate. He's the president of the union, and that union also supports our social workers. And I think it's a problem that they're coming in, that they're not appropriately using warrants, that they're not identifying themselves, that they're stripping families away from one another.
You know, my heart is full. I am incredibly proud of the way our union, the labor movement, the way Los Angeles is standing up today, not just for David Huerta, not just for immigrants, not just for workers, but for our entire country. This isn't America. This isn't what democracy, what freedom should look and should feel like. Our communities are being terrorized. They came into our city provoking violence with armored trucks and shields and grenades and rifles. They did that because they wanted to pick a fight. We know what bully behavior looks and feels like, and this is bullies doing what bullies do. But we're not going to be intimidated. We're not going to back down. We're going to stand up for our families.